But anyways, I think we can start, guys. Good morning, everyone, and aloha from Hawaii. Welcome to Rebuilding.travel this week, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's now 9 o'clock here in the evening in the Aloha State, and I know we have people from every continent registered at least, so quite exciting. We're going to have a really interesting event with two guests. I will introduce very shortly, one from Pakistan and one from the United States, who is actually originally from Turkey, and both of them actually speak Turkish, so that makes it interesting. Before we start, just a few, for those that haven't attended yet, everyone is muted. It's not like that we don't want you to participate. It's a little bit disturbing when there's background noise and people wanted to talk, but it is an open discussion. So if you have anything you'd like to contribute, what we welcome, simply raise your hand. There's a blue hand, I think, or a hand on the right side of your screen when you click on share screen, and we'll see this here. And then we can give you the microphone. I would suggest we do this after our first presentation, and we can have this real interactive. We always plan about an hour for this event, but we're going to be flexible, one way shorter or longer, really depending how it goes. And there's a chat feature also. So if you have anything you'd like to say on the chat feature, it's a little bit hard for me to read it and at the same time letting people in and out, but we'll do our best to respond to the chat features as well. After this event, everyone will get a video copy, so a YouTube copy, and it will be on our website, rebuilding.travel. And most likely, Itobo News will also write about it, and maybe some others as well. I have three announcements. One, today we welcomed country number 116 in our group. And the last country joined us was Serbia. And we also had Sudan joining us earlier this morning. So that makes us 116 countries. What is good, what is also bad, if you consider why we're all here because of Corona. So Corona is definitely something what is a global worry everywhere. And hopefully our discussion can contribute to make the situation more transparent or easier. I was also hoping to announce a number of high-level partnerships, and that should be coming through. I don't want to, kind of jump the gun and say with who, but we're stepping up in the world. We're just finalizing a few more issues, and hopefully we'll be announcing it on Tuesday, on June 23, where we have our first virtual press conference together with Project Hope. Project Hope is the COVID initiative started by the African Tourism Board. Both of our honorary chair in this group is Dr. Taleb Rifai, former Secretary General for UNWTO. He will be joining us. He just sent me a message. He is running about 10 minutes late, so he can explain this himself a little bit, but he's also the chairman and really leading Project Hope for the African Tourism Board. And we're excited. We're going to invite everyone. It's a press conference, but it's also an open forum. Everyone can participate. And that will be on Tuesday at 7 a.m. Hawaii time, what would be 7 p.m. in South Africa or in Central Europe, or 6 p.m. in London. And we'll get the information to everyone. Also, we teamed up with Buzz Travel. Buzz Travel is organizing the first virtual global travel trade show on their platform. That will happen for 4 days from June 29th to July 3rd. It's a global platform where anyone, hotels, destinations can exhibit. We have some really good speakers. They have some really good speakers, and we're trying to contribute. You will all be getting more information on this. I hope a lot of you can participate to visit the show. There is no charge if you wanted to exhibit. There are charges. The lowest is $99, and the highest, depending on the package, is $1,299. But it has a lot of perks and extras. But you can definitely listen in. There's going to be a lot of speakers at different times of the day, and so we keep everyone informed. We're also working on a platform to be added to our website where we can easier communicate with each other and share ideas. So I would hopefully by our next session in a week, everything is up, maybe even before, and we'll get the word out. So without further ado, let me just see if Talib joined us. Otherwise, we're going to give him, no, he's not in here yet. So once he comes, we can give him the opportunity to say a few words. But I'm very pleased to welcome our two guests, and I think we don't really have to completely separate it. I leave it up to our guests how we can interact with this, because the subject is very similar. We have Dr. Gulen Hashmi. She is an industry expert and scholar-practitioner and lives in Pakistan, but is originally from Turkey, from Istanbul. And she will explain what she does. And I know a lot of her students and colleagues are also signed in for this event. And you will see her with a beautiful picture in the back, what shows how beautiful actually Pakistan is. I have to admit, I've never been to Pakistan. I told Dr. Hashmi this, and but it looks like it's really a stunning place to visit. We also have Mr. John Umit, and I'm not even going to pronounce your last name because I don't want all my Turkish friends here to laugh, but he's joining us in the middle of the night. I think it must be like 3 in the morning where you are, from Boston or from Massachusetts on the East Coast in the US. And he's originally from Turkey, and thank you so much for getting up so early. It really shows your commitment, and I'm very happy. So without further ado, let's give the microphone to Dr. Gulen Hashmi. Welcome to Rebuilding.Travel, and we're very happy to have you here. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jürgen. I must express my gratitude, first of all. It's really nice that this is a grassroots initiative, and everybody like me can get a chance to voice their opinion and share their know-how. This is a powerful foundation, actually. It's an important component of sustainability as well. These bottom-up initiatives that you are organizing. Congratulations for all those initiatives, and thank you very much for this inclusive approach Rebuilding Travel has been adopting. So, well, I consider myself more like an amphibian, having both worlds, from academia and practice. So my practitioner side is deeper. I have almost 25 years of industry experience, mainly in the hospitality, in the accommodation subsector of tourism. But I've been interacting with, of course, hotel associations, tour operators, travel agencies, and in practice we know how these interactions evolve over time. But a certain part of me has been craving for knowledge sharing since my childhood. And you know, when we are in our mid-40s, we have this transformative urge, you know, to do something useful for society, to share our experience and know-how. And this desire was really superior in my case, and I decided to shift to the education side of hospitality and tourism. Currently, I'm in charge of developing a degree program for hospitality and tourism at the National University of Science and Technology. And it's in the top 500 universities in the QS university ranking. So I'm very proud to be part of NAS team. And it's only been a year, but I'm more now, I feel like a Pakistani citizen, I must say. I really want this session to be an interactive one because I believe in the power of conversations and talks. So I will not be giving a lecture. I'd like to share my perspectives and insights as a practitioner and partially as an academician. But please feel free to join in and make comments, and you can write it in the chat and we can discuss them as we go along. And if you have any particular questions, you might right away start with the questions and answers. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you, Jürgen.
Jürgen, you are on mute.
Ah, okay. I hope you heard me, but okay.
No, I heard you. I'm sorry. I muted myself like I wanted everyone else to mute, and I forgot about like most people do. Sorry. So yes, so we want to keep this interactive, and questions and any type of comments, feel free to raise your hand. Maybe we can also give John an opportunity to say who he is, as he's coming in, and we can kind of combine this. Would that be okay?
Sure. Good morning, by the way. Good morning, everybody. My name is John Ümit Palabıyık. So just to help you, my last name is Palabıyık. And right now I'm here in Boston, Massachusetts, actually 20 miles away from the Boston. I work for the Framingham State University. My background and what I am doing is very similar to Dr. Hashmi. I've been in the industry 25 years. Half of my career is in Istanbul, in Turkey. My other half is here in the United States. I've been here for 20 years. I'm US citizen and I worked many different hotels here. Typically what I do is I actually open the hotel and build a team, or if there is any hotel, if you need to convert it to another brand, that's what I usually did in my career. I focused on more food and beverage, even though I went through every single areas of the hospitality. I started front desk. I worked as an accountant. I worked as an IT manager. I was one of the managers in Y2K project when I was working in Istanbul, Four Seasons Hotels. I was lucky enough to be opening team of Four Seasons Hotels Istanbul. I have been opening of the Four Seasons Kempinski Hotels, Turan Palace in Istanbul. Same thing here in United States. I opened Omni Hotel. I opened Marriott Hotel here. I work for the Wyndham Hotels. I work for the Sonesta Hotels. So basically I did the hotel management. I worked as a food and beverage director. I worked as a hotel manager. And in 2008, I closed my own restaurant. I was running it for 3 years here in Massachusetts. I worked different part of the United States. I lived in Maryland. I lived in Baltimore. I lived in Texas, DFW area. I lived in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and worked in Miami. Like I said, I'm also here to open a new program, hospitality program. We started 2018, end of the 2019, December, we managed to get an approval for our program. It's a brand new program. I only have 20 students. It's a state university, so which means in a way we are lucky, in a way we have some difficulties, but it's a wonderful location. Boston is really a wonderful place to be in, except winters. It's cold in winters. Besides that, here, as you guys do, we are having a trouble with the pandemic, and I'm working with the hotels and restaurants to help them to reboot the industry. That's what we are trying to do right now. Before I give the turn to Dr. Hashmi, I just want to give you a little reminder or little story from the Istanbul. When we opened the Four Seasons Hotel, it was very successful. It was one of the most successful hotels I worked. we were taking tons of the reservations. We felt the hotel is going to be full like next 10 years. That was our impression. However, due to some security problems, due to some terror issues in Istanbul, we start to get some cancellations. The reason I'm giving this example, unfortunately, the Turkey is kind of immune with all these troubles, the recessions. We had a lot of issues in Turkey, but the Turkish tourism is really successful to adapt it. They were very successful to stay long. They have a really strong tourism over there. My point is, when we were having a lot of reservations, all of a sudden we have a problem. As most of you guys know, in the morning, all managers, we were sitting and our reservation manager was explaining how many reservations we get every day. And we were listening to her minutes and minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, how many reservations we get. After the issues we had, she started to come to every morning, and she started to tell us how many cancellations we have every day. So actually it was a joke that time, but we started to call her cancellation manager instead of the reservation manager because of the issues we have been having. So I can kind of understand the issues are all over the world. Unfortunately, we have to cancel all the reservations. We have to sit down and start to talk about how we can reboot the world, how we can reboot the industry. And hopefully with this discussion, we'll get some ideas. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you very, very much. I'm wondering, I'm so excited to have Dr. Hashmi from Pakistan. A lot of people probably also on this forum know very little about the industry, travel and tourism industry, and about Pakistan itself. Maybe you can tell us a little bit how Pakistan is, what's the tourism industry about, how do you see the future, what are some of the challenges, anything, what might be interesting. And in the meantime, if there are questions, feel free to ask. I also see Dr. Taleb Rifa joined us, so maybe after you can talk a little bit about Pakistan, I would ask Taleb to also help me to announce the press conference on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I also would like to mention we have as participant Aziz Bulani. We are honored to have him here. He is the CEO of Serena Hotels Group in Pakistan, leading hotel group. We should feel honored to have him with us for his insights as well later on, perhaps. Well, Pakistan is a beautiful country. The background photo that you see is not Swiss. It's not a Swiss landscape. It belongs to Pakistan, and there are many amazing and stunning sites like this, especially in the northeastern part of Pakistan, close to China, in the area called Gilgit and Hunza Valley. Pakistan, as I see it, I've only been 1 year here, but it has this culture of innate culture of hospitality. People are generous, they are hospitable, giving. The culture is quite philanthropic, so it has the perfect. It is perfectly equipped equipped for the development of tourism. It is still lagging behind in competitiveness index. In the 2017 report by World Economic Forum, Pakistan was still down at the bottom of the competitiveness list. It has a long way to go, but it has the right culture, and if proper training and know-how, transfer of knowledge is implemented, then Pakistan will develop incredibly in the coming years. Actually, the British Backpackers Society identified Pakistan as the third highest potential country for adventure tourism.
Wow.
And also Condé Nast Traveler announced Pakistan as the best places to visit in 2020. So with the ease of visa restrictions, now it's easy for almost all country citizens to get visa upon arrival or to get an online visa and to enter Pakistan, because previously they had to get a no objection certificate, which was a hassle. But now, since 2019, visa restrictions have been eased, and it's pretty easy to enter the country. So Pakistan offers huge opportunities. It's virgin land for development. And in my eyes, as a practitioner and as well as an academician, I see huge potential for creating shared value. And hopefully we will be speaking about this in detail. I've been to many webinars and forums talking about the future of tourism and business practices in the post-COVID situation. But when it comes to doing how of things, we get stuck. Most of us get stuck. Governments, unfortunately, our governments are tackling with so many problems that they don't have enough know-how to direct businesses or citizens. They might be lagging behind. That's normal. And regarding the finances as well, unfortunately, in developing countries, governments don't have enough funds to introduce new concepts, infrastructures, collaborations. So most of the responsibility, in my eyes, lies with the private sector. It lies with the big private companies as well as with the SMEs. But private companies and big corporations in developing countries have a huge responsibility in terms of creating resilient communities and infrastructures for rebuilding tourism in this particular period. I might continue, but so far, if there are questions, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, to raise hands. And maybe in the meantime, I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Gulen. And we do have a question, but before we take the question from Colleen, let me introduce Dr. Taleb Rifai. He was the former Secretary General for 2 terms for the United Nations World Tourism Organization. I think most of you, I'm sure, know his name and know him. He is joining us. Thank you very much for always supporting us from the very beginning, as also as our chair. And Dr. Rifai is also the chair for the Project Hope. And Project Hope is an initiative by the African Tourism Board. We kind of got inspired by doing or continue to do what Project Hope was getting involved with, but on a global platform. So together with Project Hope, we're planning a press conference and a informative meeting for the public on Tuesday next week. So maybe Dr. Taleb Rifai can say a few words.
Thank you so much. Jürgen, you're always very gracious with me. Thank you so much. I want to welcome Ms. Hashmi and our good friend John from Turkey, also in the United States now. First of all, let me just emphasize the fact that Jürgen mentioned today. Next Tuesday, we're having our press conference. I expect all of you to be with us, please. It's a very important press conference. It's about Africa. I'm a member of the African Tourism Board, contributing a lot. Africa is a very important region that's been underestimated. Now, let me just say a few words about Pakistan and Turkey, if you don't mind. Pakistan is a wonderful country. I've been there several times. I've been to Islamabad. I've been to Karachi. And it's beautiful. What you see behind in the picture, behind Ms. Hashmi, is just a sample, just a teaser. Pakistan is a wonderful place with wonderful people. Now, it's been unfortunate in the last few decades that Pakistan has not earned the reputation that it should. Sorry to say this, Ms. Hashmi, but I disagree with you. It's not just the private sector's responsibility. It's also the government's responsibility. That's what I kept telling the governments in Pakistan. I hope they'll listen now, because it's the political will, not just the financial means to do it. The world has not yet heard from government of Pakistan, from the people of Pakistan, welcome to Pakistan, with a capital W. Welcome to Pakistan. That takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of political will to do that. Because, my dear friend, many of you may think that Pakistan is not safe, but it is probably one of the safest places in the world. Safe places are the places where people welcome you. You're protected by the people, and the people of Pakistan are very welcoming. So if you go with the right attitude, you will see things there that you have not seen before. I also want to stress the issue of values, shared value, that Ms. Hashmi talked about. It's a place to learn something different. It's a virgin place that has not been exploited by anybody. So I encourage all of you to take Pakistan more seriously, but most importantly, the government of Pakistan must take itself seriously first. Now, regarding Turkey, I think I don't need to say anything about Turkey. Turkey is a star without doubt. Turkey is a country that has proven itself to be worthwhile. Turkey is one of the most promising destinations to open up now in this new pandemic era. And we're working very closely. It's an example of how a government can, with a successful political will, to make a success story. It's never what you have, it's what you do with what you have that matters. And Turkey has done much more than it could with what it has. Turkey is a wonderful country. I'm half Turkish, my mother is Turkish. So whenever I talk about Turkey, I won't be objective here. Thank you so much, Jürgen, for putting us together. Once again, I want to remind you of Tuesday's event. I hope you'll all be with us. Mobilize the press, because it's a very, very important event. Thank you so much, Jürgen.
Thank you very much, Taleb. And we have Colin Bidewell, and I cannot read the rest of your name, I'm sorry, but you've been raising your hand, so yeah, you go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no. Hello, Jürgen. Thank you, everyone.
Colin, yeah, I talked to you before. No, you're the British guy. Okay, sorry about that.
I'm a good guy. Hopefully, yeah, the British guy.
You're a good guy.
I'm out in UK. Hi, everyone. Good to be in this forum again. Yeah, I mean, it's this whole thing around sustainability, isn't it, basically? The UN nations agreed 17 goals in 2015. You've got, I guess, how those goals are represented in enterprise and corporate annual accounts. Everyone has their own sort of twisting, I guess, of what sustainability actually means to them. I guess the question is more around how informed do you think kind of people are around what we should be driving towards? I guess that would be framed by what the states agreed. Is there too much twisting that goes on, I guess, in terms of people understanding of what sustainability is all about? And has that kind of been changed by COVID, and what the prognosis is going forward as a result of C19? In terms of the bigger challenges that we have, certainly for 2030 around environmental, social governance, and then obviously 2050 with climate change as well. Are we focusing too much on climate change? Because there's other stuff around responsible consumption, gender equality, lots of other goals which potentially one might say get lost because everyone's too focused on one goal rather than everything else. And does hospitality effectively have a role to play in almost like business readiness or societal readiness for the bigger challenges? Big question, but I'd like to know. I popped it in chat, as I say, just so in case I forgot any element of it, but it'd be good just to have your views on that. And thank you for the time.
Thank you, Colin.
So may I answer this? Or,
sure, please, yes, go ahead. Thank you.
You know, with COVID-19, what we have seen in Pakistan is basically philanthropic initiatives which are associated with CSR activities. The CSR, sustainability, integrated value, and sustainable value. These words are used interchangeably. I think we need to clarify in this session. Philanthropic activities and CSR and donations, these actually don't create business value. They are just, you can see them as redistribution of value. So you take from the rich, you give to the poor, you get from A, you give to B, but actually value is not created there. Business value is not created. So it is not sustainable. These philanthropic actions, what we have been seeing in the Pakistani context, they are not sustainable. So CSR is confused with sustainability, but sustainability is really about integrating in a balanced way all these dimensions, environmental, social, and economic values in the business model. And so we can see CSR is still valid. It helps create shared value, but it is just a tool. It doesn't stop there. We can see, for example, a good example would be the partnership between the Gates Foundation and Coca-Cola in one of the African countries, where Coca-Cola didn't have enough funds to grow the fruit pulp necessary to produce. So there were a lot of concerns regarding the transition costs, and they needed to teach the farmers to grow the vegetable. They needed to transfer knowledge, which was costly. So it wouldn't pay the hurdle rate, you know, it wouldn't cover the, and there, the Gates Foundation did help Coca-Cola Company, which is a huge global corporation at that time. And then they managed to develop the capacity building of the farmers and grow the fruit pulp that was necessary. So it was basically cluster development. What they did was cluster development and investing in the ecosystem of that country, in the capacity building and in the well-being of the people in the value chain. So this is more than CSR. CSR helped, the money helps to a certain extent, but in order for it to be sustainable, it needs to be integrated in the business model. And the companies, the private sector, it's not only private sector actually, this concept is all about policies and practices that create business value from societal challenges like COVID-19. So when we start with societal challenges from an outside-in perspective, then maybe you will sense that there is more opportunities there. We are not limited by anything. But when we start our journey, you know, with how should we maximize our shareholder value, how should we gain maximum profit from serving customers, then we get stuck somewhere in the middle, almost always. Because there are, you know, no company can solve societal challenges alone. All sectors of society need to collaborate with each other, NGOs, intergovernmental bodies, governments, policymakers. So it's all about collaboration, which corresponds with SDG 17 actually. Creating shared value is more advanced than CSR. CSR used to be useful, but now the context of Pakistan is very much embedded in philanthropic donations during this period. And hopefully with this session, we will have created some awareness on the business opportunities, if we look at it from business, from an opportunistic side. Any questions? Does
Yes,
this answer your question, Colin?
Yeah, Talib had a question. He raised his hand. Let me unmute him. There we go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jürgen. Well, mine is not a question, it's a comment, really, because sustainability is misunderstood sometimes. Sustainability is two things. It's not just about environment, it's about everything else, social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Two, sustainability is not an anti-growth. Sustainability does not mean that we should freeze everything just to maintain and preserve things as they are. Sustainability is about simply sustaining life on Earth. Sustainability has to progress. Now, with regard to corporate social responsibility, I completely believe that it's not anymore just paying part of your capital, it's sharing your business. When a tourist comes to a developing country, he's treated like coming from Mars, from God. He's treated so well. And there are separation walls between visitors and local community. These walls must be lowered, and businesses must impose and force and encourage our visitors to go and interact with the local community. That's the best way that the community can benefit, because otherwise the community will keep depending on donations. I don't believe in donations. I believe in direct interaction between visitors and the local community. It serves and helps not just economically, it serves and helps politically and culturally as well, because that's the best way of lowering the walls between the visitors and the local communities. Thank you so much, Morgan.
Thank you very much. I don't. Do you like to respond to this or say something?
I think it's the same thing. We agree
Right.
with the same thing. Dr. Taleb Rifai also is holding the same opinion. We need to. So there are ways. So when companies when they ask how do we create shared value, how do we measure it, they have some questions, and of course there are a lot of initiatives, various initiatives, and companies are confused because there's not just one standard body to, there's not one way to measure sustainability. There are different accreditation bodies, reporting systems, but the basic is it is done in a company with the right mindset. Usually it has to it has to be the CEO mindset that determines the strategy of companies. So CEO leadership and commitment is very important to get this going. And the first step is it can be done in 3 ways, but it is different for every company. But every company needs to find for him or for himself how to do this. One is reconceiving products and customer needs. In the tourism value chain, a hotel has to ask himself, with this COVID challenge, now what can I do different that I get a competitive advantage among others, and I also solve this health issue in the best way. I make money and I also contribute to Pakistani health system. So it starts like this. So it needs reflection about reconceiving new products, needs, and services. Tourism industry is highly intangible. There is this shift from product to service, and it is really it's social business. So the product is delivered and consumed at the same time. It is produced for people, and the services are rendered through people. So it requires high level of human interaction. That's why the field itself, the tourism industry itself, has a lot of potential creativity in it. There are a lot of things that can be done through social interactions. So the first way is we're conceiving new products and services. For a restaurant, it is different. And for a hotel, as I said, each subsector has to figure out for itself what these products and services are. In the second phase, it is about redefining productivity in the value chain. So it is more about, as Dr. Taleb Rifai said, it is interaction with local people, sourcing supplies, produce from local people, hiring local staff, because you know it is in their best interest to do good to the community. So automatically, you know, when companies start thinking about redefining productivity in their value chain, they come up with this global versus local issue, and going local is always advantageous for a company because it saves costs and it also helps develop capacity building of that community. And a third way could be investing in the ecosystem, in the tourism ecosystem. And this is done, there are different ways of doing it, but one way is, you know, really these educational institutions here, these hospitality and tourism programs, online training programs come into play. You know, hotels partnering with universities or online institutions and giving training. So it is more about forming next practice platforms. We could say it's more about collaboration, investing in the education side of it, capacity building of it, microfinance institutions, collaboration with microfinance institutions is a way to enable the ecosystem players for economic purposes. This is also one way of forming a next practice platform. So we need to, the companies need to consider these things to build competitive advantage and solve societal issues at the same time. So it is, there's a London hotel where I've done my PhD research. It was action research basically. It's a, maybe all of you know, Royal Lancaster Hotel just by the Hyde Park. And they changed their mission. I've been working with them to build employee engagement for sustainability. And their mission and vision is to be the happiest hotel in the UK, to be the happiest hotel. It's not to be the most profitable hotel and to deliver the biggest shareholder value and to serve guests' needs, but it is to be the happiest hotel. And this included happiness of their employees and all stakeholders, and all their projects and initiatives were centered around health and well-being. So the starting point is really a societal challenge, not really the economic profitability part. Economic sustainability is important, but it shouldn't be the ultimate purpose. It should be a balanced mix of economic and social value creation.
Good.
So this is all about the creating shared value approach that I'd like to introduce. Maybe some of you will ask how to measure the social value, or how to measure this, how to, but let's see if there are any questions first.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really interesting information. I think you probably have to listen to it again to really understand what it is, and we give everyone the opportunity. I'm wondering, I don't see any raising hands, but what I was wondering is, you said you had a colleague there from the Serena Hotel in Pakistan. I don't know if he or she maybe likes to say something about
I cannot see if Mr. Aziz Bulani, he is the CEO of
Aziz Bulani, I see him. Yeah, I can. He's here.
if he can hear us, Serena Hotel is a very good example, is the leading hotel in Pakistan, and they are doing excellent job on gender equality, inclusion of women's empowerment, and all these community engagement, involvement, and they are creating very good approaches towards creating shared values. So I must congratulate him. But I don't know if he can hear us, and if you would like to.
He should be, I don't know. Aziz, can you hear us? Aziz? Maybe he cannot hear us. Okay, I thought it may have been, okay. And in any case, no problem. I just thought it would be interesting. You mentioned it in Serena Hotel. I remember when the Serena Hotel opened in Uganda. I stayed there. I was one of the first guests at a conference, and they kind of really had the same concept in regards to hiring local people, sustainability, and so forth. This was many years ago, really a big subject. I'm wondering, I see my friend Deepak Joshi, he was the former CEO of the Nepal Tourism Board. I'm wondering, Deepak, can you hear me?
Yes, namaste, namaste.
Namaste. I cannot let you go without saying anything. So I'm just wondering, Nepal and Pakistan seems to have a lot of similarities in listening to Dr. Hashmi. I've never been to Pakistan, but I've been to Nepal a number of times. So how do you feel about see this, Deepak?
I think you are right, Jürgen. Between Pakistan and Nepal, we have many similarities, especially the mountains, the nature, the adventure activities, and the hospitality that we offer. In many segments, I think there is much similarity between Nepal and Pakistan.
Yeah, they're wonderful. So how's everything in Nepal now? Is the restrictions are lifted now, or? Yeah.
Partially, lockdown is eased now. The vehicles are on an odd basis. They are open. The hotels are not fully open yet. In few areas, some of the activities are being carried on. For example, when we're talking about the sustainable tourism, I wanted to highlight something about Nepal also. In sustainable front, we have one area called Annapurna Conservation Area Project, which is 8,000 square kilometer area. And in that area, the local community is involved to conserve the nature, and at the same time, they are the one who do the business. So, as very rightly Dr. Rifai mentioned, most of the time we get confused in Nepal also, like the sustainable tourism is only about the conservation of the things, which is, I think, not. Which is how it is contributing to the livelihood of the local is also equally important. So in that line, Annapurna Conservation Area is a very good model where one thing very surprising, in that area, most of the entrepreneurs, I mean the local service providers, they are run by women, and they are mothers group made by the local households, and they are the one who do the marketing, who do the service, who do the accounting, operation, everything. So this is not only one economic activity, but also for the women's empowerment activity is also there. So in that line, that area is very good. So I believe that the things become sustainable only then when destinations are cared together and benefits are shared together. Otherwise, there is always conflict.
No, and I think that's how do you see this, Dr. Gulen, John, from your perspective?
Well, a region in Pakistan and this region, I need to note it down again, could become sister towns, and you could, we could try one pilot region in Pakistan, for example, where, the same model is applied. So in Turkey, we have these mentor cities, sister cities, cities learn from each other. If one tourism province is doing a good thing, and the sustainability initiatives. Actually, there's one place called Seferihisar, very close to where I live in Turkey. The mayor has been into sustainability, and they developed the area for ecotourism and involvement of women household in the production of local supplies for hotels. So they created a mini value chain, and the mayor has won quite some awards, what I know. So they are now replicating the same model in other parts of Turkey. So, when we have a system, a best case scenario, when we have a province like your province in Nepal, things are much easier. Pakistan, could collaborate with Nepal and replicate the same model, because it has it's virgin land, as we said. Everything is possible. It's just about seeing the opportunities. And region-wise, the countries are similar. We have the same high mountain peaks in both countries. In Pakistan, K2, high mountains, beautiful landscape. So it would be nice to collaborate.
So maybe this could be a good start. Deepak is right on the pulse, and you guys can change some ideas behind the scenes. So that would be a wonderful success story.
Exactly.
Putting something together in the middle of COVID. John is raising his hand, and we didn't forget you, John.
Sure. Yeah, I want to add a couple things, actually. One of them is what Dr. Hashmi said about the company culture. Just to add a couple of things for how companies are looking for the employees. All companies here, especially in the United States, we know that everybody is in the business for ultimate goal is to make money. However, we have to explain this to our employees and the customers. That's why majority of the companies, they have a vision and mission statement is extremely simple, because every single employee has to understand it. Your doorman, your housekeeper has to understand what's your vision and mission. And Ritz-Carlton has a great example for this. The Ritz-Carlton says, we are the ladies and gentlemen, and we serve for ladies and gentlemen. So as you see, there's nothing about the money, there's nothing about the profit. However, it really means a lot if you think about it deeper. They want every single employees to be the ladies and gentlemen, and they want every single people to treat like a ladies and gentlemen. And it, of course, it's connected to the money. I happened to have a chance to meet with Bill Marriott, the owner of the Marriott hotels, and he visits every single hotel in Maryland. One of the hotels he visited us, he has a really great saying about how give the message to the employees. He says, take care of my employees because they will take care of my customers. So the way it works is everything starts from your employees. If your employees are not happy, they will not be able to make your customers are happy. It's a chain. If your customers are not happy, the boss is not going to be happy because they're not going to come, they're not going to pay. So ultimate goal is make money, but it really starts from the bottom. So that's one thing I wanted to add. But also, while we are here, both of us Turkish background, proud to be Turkish, I just want to mention a few things about Turkey. I have never been in Pakistan, but I can tell you, based on all this description, I feel it. It's very similar to Turkey. The culture is very similar. One of the things was very easy when I was in Turkey, in Istanbul, the training the employees. It was extremely easy. It used to take 2 minutes. We used to tell our employees, this hotel is your house. This guest is your guest. So treat them like you treat them at home. That was all the training. The thing I'm trying to explain is the hospitality is in the Turkish culture's blood. So which means majority of the customers we are receiving coming to Turkey, they are extremely satisfied with the service they are getting. There's a huge service quality over there. That's one thing I would like to mention. The other thing is, if you look at the Turkey, we have opportunities for every single segments. You may be coming for bed and breakfast, or you may be looking for the top quality for the hotels. We have all of them. We have every single segment of the tourism. You can name it from the sports tourism, health tourism, you can name it to cultural tourism. The food is extremely great. The beverage is extremely great. So there are a lot of things that you can sell to Turkey. The numbers actually tells it. If we don't have any economic issues, if we don't have any political issues, the country is constantly getting more and more tourists every year. Whenever we stop getting tourists, means that we have a problem in economically, or we have a problem politically. I would like to tie this one thing, because technically we are in a pandemic, and I want to tell a few things how the Turkey is handling with the pandemic. I'm proud to say that it's unexpectedly, I wasn't expecting that good, but Turkey handled it very, very well. The Turkish numbers, statistics shows that I will not even compare with the United States. Probably it's the worst country to compare right now. If you look at the COVID-19 and how many people are getting sick, how many people are dying, we can't even compare with the United States. However, the Turkish numbers is great. One of the reasons is the Turkey has a very strong health system, and health tourism is one of the top countries in the world right now. And the good news is the government is, and the people are investing on health tourism now. I have a feeling that I have a prediction that the Turkey will come out with this COVID-19 becoming a trend destination for the health tourism, because they are investing on it. With the reopening, all the restaurants, hotels, and travel industries, the government took a lead. The tourism minister is actually someone from the industry, and he knows what the industry is living right now. They came up with the idea, every single restaurant and hotel, if they want to reopen, that's not mandatory, but it's an opportunity. Every single organization, they can apply for certification. If they apply for the certification, the government is issuing, not really government, there's a private companies works for the government. They are issuing safe travel certification. I highly recommend all of you guys, I can give you the link, check the web page and see how standards are applying over there. I feel, as a person in the industry, I feel like the Turkish hotels and restaurants who has that certificate, probably the healthiest and cleanest organizations in the world, if they follow up every single the steps, because the questionnaire is like, I don't want to exaggerate, maybe a couple hundred questions they are asking, they have to follow up from meeting the customers until checking out the hotel. So I highly recommend to see all this certification program. And I would like to tell everybody here, it's extremely safe zone compared to Europe, compared to most countries, even compared to America. The Turkey is a safe zone, and I highly recommend you guys, if you happen to plan a travel soon, it's one of the great destinations, especially health system. And if you look at all the numbers and statistics, if anybody's interested, I can send the numbers. It's really safe location. So I highly recommend Turkey for that.
Thank you very much, John. And it's an interesting word, a trigger word you just said. It's about Corona safe zones. I know there have been a lot of discussions also in this forum and in other platforms that really no one can claim to have a safe zone. I know the WTTC came with a project out, what also kind of almost certifies safe zones. I know WTTC is a leader in the world, and the wording is very sensitive in a way and could apply. But I'm wondering what everyone is thinking about Corona safe zones. We came up from our end, and this was suggested by Dr. Peter Tarlow, who's our safety and security advisor. to come up with resilient instead of safe. So I'm just wondering what the feedback is, specifically if you're familiar with the WTTC initiative, if the word safe is the right word to use.
I think resilience has to do with sustainability. You know, if we are resilient, we are sustainable, we can survive. So resilience is a good word, but there is more to it. You know, resilience is just also managing the status quo, you know, managing this COVID, the health challenge. It has to do with the management of it. But it also has this opportunity side of it. You know, we need to constantly explore. So it's not only managing, it's also, you know, going one step further and exploring new business opportunities to be sustainable. Otherwise, that destination cannot be sustainable, you know, if it doesn't innovate on a continuous basis. So innovation should be an ongoing process. Resilient is a much better word than, anyway, United Nations, UNWTO determined some priorities. I think they determined 7 priorities to recover tourism, and you know, to recover that destination has to be resilient, but then it has to do something more to attract tourists there. And we need to focus on those 7 priorities. There's no need to invent other priorities. We just need to see how those priorities can be implemented in destinations with a resilience focus, with a focus on resilience. This is about private-public collaborations. And one of the other priority, because it's my topic, is innovation and sustainability as the new normal. So as you see, to recover from this pandemic, we need to shift our focus to a new paradigm, which is sustainability. So right. There are other priorities. You might have a look at them on the website. But you know, I think we should just focus on what has been produced and work on it as destinations. This is how I see it.
No, thank you. And Talib is raising his hand. Go ahead, Talib. I think you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Jürgen. What I'm trying to say here is, it doesn't matter what we call it. We should understand that it has a certain function. It's a function of a zone that is implementing all the protocols, certifying them, doing its best to make it safe for you. It's not 100% safe. Nobody can guarantee safety 100%. When you fly a plane, you can't give a guarantee that the plane is not going to fall down. But you can guarantee that the people are doing their best to keep it safe. So I think that's why we came up with the concept of resilience. Because if you call it safe zone or corona-free zone, as many people try to call it, legally speaking, I think the lawyers have to decide on that. It may get us into trouble. But corona-resilient zone is a better way. So we're calling it CRZ, Corona Resilient Zone. These are bubbles that are created within a country. It doesn't have to be the whole country. For example, in Jordan, where I come from, the southern region of Aqaba, it's called the Corona Resilient Zone. It's a zone that's controlled geographically. Entry and exit are controlled. And you have certain specific protocols that you abide by. The important thing is to convey a message of confidence and trust to the people. I think the psychological effect of people feeling safe in a place, even though it's not 100% safe, everybody knows that, is the most important part. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. And now we're a little bit over our hour, but if there's any more questions and feedback, please raise your hand so we can.
John wants to say something.
Okay.
Well, I just want to add one thing. I agree and disagree with Dr. Taleb. I agree that nobody can guarantee 100% safe, but I think we are so much overthinking, because if I tell you that Boston is a safe city, I cannot guarantee you nothing is going to happen to you here. It's a safe city, but nothing is going to happen to you. I'm not focusing on the pandemic in general. If I tell you Boston is a safe city or Istanbul is a safe city, it's a safe city, but there's nobody can guarantee. I don't think anybody can guarantee for anything 100% is the safe. This is the general term, but if you tell the people, if you cannot tell your place is the safe, your hotel is the safe, your restaurant is the safe, you need to believe it first. You have to make sure that I'm doing everything to make it safe. If you are telling your customers, I am trying for it, it shows that it doesn't really give people enough trust. To give the people enough trust, you have to be confident to say that, yes, it's a safe place. We are trying everything to make sure that this place is safe. Of course, we can guarantee it, but it's for everything. It's not only for the corona. If you are getting on the plane is the safest transportation. Can you tell me that we didn't have any accident in the plane? No, we can't. We have the accident, even though it's safe enough. So another thing is I would like to add a little bit about all these discussions. I think, including Turkey and a lot of countries are saying that's safe. The reason is the trust is the new currency. We have to trust the places we are traveling. Europe is doing the same thing. Even Europe is building a safe zone to make a tourism, to make them people to feel the travel. So I feel it's okay to use the safe. The resilience gives me a feeling like I am not sure if something is going to happen to you. I'm trying, but I'm not sure about it. Makes me to feel like if they're not even sure, I don't want to travel there.
No, a very good point, and I think this is a discussion we should have another time and continue this discussion. And we're coming to the end of this session. It's quite fascinating, a lot of very, very useful information. So I wanted to make sure we get this out. We will have this on our website. We have a recording of this session on YouTube and also on our website. We'll be writing about it, and hopefully we can continue this. Dr. Gulen Hashmi, it was really a pleasure having you calling from Pakistan. And John, I cannot thank you enough for getting up at 3 in the morning, and I hope you have a chance to go back to sleep for a little bit. Starbucks, there must be opening now this time already in Boston. So thank you so much. By the way, I forgot to mention the press conference we have on Tuesday is already on our website, rebuilding.travel. It will also be on the African Tourism Board website. But if you go to rebuilding.travel and click on upcoming event, it's already listed. So you can actually register for this right now. I just put it up before our event. And so if there isn't any more questions, any more comments, I thank everyone for participating. Next week, we will be meeting in a 12-hour different interval that gives our participants in North America a better way to be part of this discussion. But anyways, hopefully I see you on Tuesday when we talk about Africa, Project Hope, and also about rebuilding.travel. Taleb, also thank you so much for being so loyal and always participating and leading this forum, and your comments are absolutely invaluable for what we're doing and your experience. I think there was someone saying. In any case, thank you very much. Aloha from Hawaii, and hopefully we all stay in touch and meet again. And you know how to get in touch with us. Very easy, and we like this conversation to be continued. And again, I will also point out our new discussion feature we'll hopefully be able to announce on rebuilding.travel in the next few days. Thank you very much, everyone, and stay safe. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you very much, Jürgen. Thank you. It was a pleasure on my side as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.